the last date for filing GSTR-9 is on 31st December. If you miss this deadline, you will be penalized. But remember one thing, once you have filed it, it's game over. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite GSTHero YouTube channel, where we dive into the details of all GST concepts and compliances. Now it's time for the GSTR-9, the grand finale of GST compliance. So make sure you stay tuned until the end to supercharge your GSTR-9 filing journey. Because as you all know, the last date for filing GSTR-9 for the financial year 2022 and 23 is on 31st December. So mark your calendars and make sure you file this return before the deadline. Before moving ahead, let's talk about why this deadline is important. Here is why. If you miss this deadline, you will be penalized. There is a daily minimum late fee, which varies depending on your turnover. And there is a maximum penalty, which varies between 0.04% to 0.5% of your turnover. So for example, a company with a turnover of 50 crores who has not filed GSTR-9 is subject to late fees anywhere between Rs 200 to a maximum of 25 lakhs. Now let's begin. Who should file GSTR-9? GSTR-9 is a mandatory for registered taxpayers with a turnover above Rs 2 crore. If you are one of the lucky exemptions like composition scheme taxpayers, casual taxable persons, input service distributors, non-resident taxable persons, and persons deducting TDS, GSTR-9 is optional. But why you should care about GSTR-9? The answer is in your monthly and quarterly returns. Please remember, GSTR-9 is an annual tax report card, which means it consolidates all the monthly and quarterly returns like GSTR-1, GSTR-2A, 2B, and GSTR-3B. This means it consolidates details of both outward and inward supplies made or received during the financial year. With the help of this return, you can ensure your tax liability and ITC availability relevant to the financial year. But remember one thing, once you have filed it, there is no going back. Once filed, it's game over. Now let's quickly talk about the details required to be filed in GSTR-9. GSTR-9 has 6 parts and 19 sections. Part 1 covers basic registration details including financial year, GSTIN, legal name, and trade name. Part 2 deals with the details of outward and inward supplies declared during the financial year. Moving on to the Part 3, you will find details of the input tax credit declared in returns filed during the financial year. These include ITC availed, reversed ITC, ineligible ITC, and other ITC related information. Part 4 focuses on details of tax paid as declared in returns filed during the financial year. Part 5 is all about the particulars of transactions for the previous financial year, including supplies and tax declared through amendments, as well as tax reduced through amendments. It also covers the reversal of ITC availed, ITC availment for the previous financial year, and differential tax payable and tax paid. Lastly, Part 6 covers other information such as particulars of demands and refunds, supplies received from composition taxpayers, deemed supplies, goods sent on approval basis, HSN-wise details for both sales and purchase supplies, and details of payable and paid late fees. Now let's quickly look at some common oversights that businesses face. 2 things to watch out for in GSTR-9. First, if you have claimed input tax credit during the financial year that was ineligible, you will need to reverse it in GSTR-9. If you fail to do so, you will get a notice from GSTIN and you will have to eventually pay penalties and interest over and above the penalties. This is your final chance. Second, if you have claimed ITC for an invoice that has not been filed in GSTR-1, you will have to reverse the ITC claimed under GSTR-3B. As you can see, in both the cases, you will incur working capital loss. And the larger your company, the larger will be your loss. So how do you ensure that your company doesn't face this problem? Simple. Number 1. Ensure accurate filing of monthly and quarterly returns. Number 2. Identify missing invoices through reconciliations like GSTR-1 versus GSTR-3B versus books of account, books of account versus e-Invoice, and GSTR-2B versus purchase record. Once you have identified the missing invoices, adjust tax liability and ITC accordingly. Number 3. Put a process in place to follow up with vendors who are non-compliant. The solutions I have shared here are simple if the volume of invoices is low. However, if your business processes thousands of invoices every month, then errors in monthly and quarterly filing are generally high. Locating missing invoices becomes extremely time-consuming and frustrating, and following up with vendors becomes inconsistent, which means no matter what you do, you will end up losing working capital. If this is you, there is a hope. Since the inception of GST, GSTHero has helped over 10,000 companies file their returns accurately every month, every quarter, and therefore every year, saving companies from losing over hundreds of crores till date in working capital. With our ITC reconciliation solution, locating missing invoices takes minutes rather than days. Also, our vendor notification and payment blocking system keep your vendors compliant, thereby reducing the burden of manual tracking and follow-up. With accurate filing, auto reconciliation, and vendor notification and payment blocking, you can be sure that your GSTR-9 will be a smooth exercise. If you're wondering how GSTHero can integrate with your existing ERP or billing software, no problem. GSTHero can smoothly integrate with over 100 ERPs. Till date, GSTHero has processed over 135 million invoices, totaling rupees 1,100 billion every year. Once again, if you are currently facing the problems we have spoken about, or you are now aware that there could be a problem in the future, get in touch with us. Our experts can demonstrate exactly how GSTHero will solve your problems. Hope this year your GSTR-9 filing is error-free, but more importantly, completely stress-free. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates, and stay compliant with GSTHero. Until next time.